When the war broke out, it was September 1st, 1939. I was 11 years old. And as a matter of fact, my father was supposed to be taken into the Polish army to fight the Germans. By the time they called him, the war was, after 2 weeks, Germany occupied Poland, the war was over. And the Russian army, of course, occupied the area where I lived, and we were under the Russian occupation from 1939, September 1939, until June 22nd, 1941. It wasn't easy in the beginning, but we weren't exposed to any thing like we experienced when the Germans came in. And when the German army occupied, declared war on the Soviet Union, a week, let's say now, the 22nd, I think by the July 5th or 8th, they occupied my hometown, the Germans. And after 4 weeks, August 1st, they had all the Jewish men from 16 to 60 report in the marketplace, and they picked out 220 men, all the teachers, Jewish teachers, the rabbinical staff, the business people, and my father was one of them. My father was then 41 years old, and they took him out about a mile and a half from our house, and they shot every one of them. That was my exposure to the Holocaust. My father then. That was in August 1st, and 8 months later, what was it? May 8th. So May 8th, the entire Jewish section was surrounded by Lithuanian soldiers, by Ukrainian soldiers, by Germans, and also the police that volunteered for my hometown. And they kept us 4 days under house arrest. We couldn't even go out to go to the outhouses, or to do. And on the 4th day, May 12th, they woke everybody up around 5 o'clock, and they started yelling all the Jews out of their homes. And they put everybody again in the marketplace there. And while they were chasing everybody out, my mother was going out with my sisters and my grandmother, and she insisted that I should hide in the attic. And I was crying. I didn't want to leave my mother alone. And my sisters, well, she insisted that I go to hide in the attic. And while I was hiding in the attic, they came to look, the police, like I said, from the hometown, and they came to look for me because they knew there's a boy hiding in the house. And they couldn't find me because we had a secret entrance to get into the attic, not from the outside, but from the house. And I heard them talk to each other. This one said to the other one, "We'll catch him later, don't worry about it, let's not waste our time." And a few hours later, the only thing that I heard was machine guns firing and shouting and all this thing, and I didn't know what was going on. And I would say by 12 o'clock, I heard cries in my house while sitting in the attic, and I didn't know what to do. Should I get out? And the first thing I did, I was running to see who survived, my mother, my sisters. And I walked into one of the bedrooms, and I saw my sister and her baby, and she was screaming and crying, my sister, and pulling her hair. And she didn't know in what world she is, because I kept shaking her. And I said, "What happened? Where's Mom? Where are the sisters? Where's my grandma?" She said, "Everybody's dead." I said, "What happened?" So that day they killed 2,500 people. And also the same place where they killed my father 8 months before that.